Oh, yeah. It's Monday night, and I can't believe I'm here with you guys again. Man, it's been a rough day. They fired a guy at work. That means I got more work to do, and I had 13 hours there. And I got to tell you, this is exactly what I need. Some talk about the Dallas Cowboys. I hope everybody's doing great tonight. I know I'm feeling excited about being here. I'm excited about the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm most importantly excited to be talking to you guys. We got Mark Holmes there. How about them Cowboys? Jacob Elliott, Jay Davis, Vano the Great, Ruben, Aisha. How about them Cowboys? Thank you guys for jumping in, man. I appreciate the support. And the thing I want to ask you guys is, how about them Cowboys? I got to tell you, I just can't wait till the season starts. I'm excited. I love the moves that the team has made. And we have finally gotten away from being the drama team queen. And by that, I mean, like I said, hey, Jackie, Jacob, Dennis, thanks for joining us tonight. We have finally gotten away from being the team of all the distraction. Try as ESPN and Stephen A. Smith might, there's nothing bad that they can say about our Dallas Cowboys. They finally have the stuff together like never before. And I look at how this team is doing this offseason. Going into it, we knew we didn't have much cash. Going into it, we knew we had 21 free agents, guys that we needed to upgrade, some that we needed to just go, some we needed to keep. And without any cap room, lo and behold, they made some very wise moves. Now, it's no guarantee that all of them will work out. But you look at what they did. Instead of going for flash, they went for substance. And the other thing that I'm so proud that they took care of is making sure that Jobu got a refill. So let's make sure Jobu's got himself taken care of. And before I go much further, I want to give a shout out to go back here. I want to give a shout out to a few people here from last week. A lot of you guys heard. How you doing, Isaac? Jack Duncan? How about them Cowboys? Sandman, Andy Garcia, Jacob Elliott. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to a few fans. I shared with you guys my dream for the season besides winning a Super Bowl. I have been blessed to have gone to the last 14 Super Bowls and have enjoyed them all. But something was missing, and that, of course, was the Dallas Cowboys. And I think about how much money the NFL could make if the Dallas Cowboys were at the Super Bowl. I mean, literally, when the Dallas Cowboys lost in the playoffs, Super Bowl ticket prices dropped in half. Hotel rooms were open, wide up. You know, places that were looking at making $1,000 a night were lucky to get $300. So when you think about the Dallas Cowboys, the team that everybody either loves or hates, nothing would be better for football than the Dallas Cowboys being Super Bowl. Now, my dream, like I said, I enjoy meeting, hanging out with you guys, talking to you guys on air, you know, connecting with you. I want to continue that with this season. I want to start out with training camp and show up there in Oxnard, go to that Ram game and stuff, meet a lot of you great Cowboy fans that are out there in LA. I went to one game a couple years ago with a Dallas Cowboy fan club out there and had a great time. And I want to be able to do that all over the place. So I talked about my Dallas Cowboys Jobu mobile man cave where we could hang out before games, eat some great food, have some shots of rum, you know, broadcast live, watch the pregame, and get ready to get rowdy as shit at the game. And some of you guys did super chats. And that's something new that YouTube is now doing, where basically your comment gets highlighted and everything else. And I want to thank you guys because that's all gone. That money is all gone into Jobu's Mojo jar. And we're going to take that money and we're going to put it towards something during the season. Maybe if it does well enough, I will go ahead and buy an SUV and trick it out. But I want to thank Chuck Baby, Call of Doki, Matt Prisco, You know I'm a name butcher. That's what I do. Kesey, Van Pan 26, and Zachary Fletcher. Thank you guys for donating to the Jobu Man Cave, um, Mobile Man Cave Fund. So I appreciate all that. But anyway, back to our Dallas Cowboys. Any of you guys that have been following along with me, and I know some of you guys think that I am just crazy out there, the guy with the voodoo doll. But don't deal with the messenger. Deal with the message. Because more times than not, you guys know, I gotta get a few things right. And something I said a few months back was, I see the Dallas Cowboys taking Lae'l Collins and putting him at right tackle, the position he played in college, because I feel he is truly athletic and will be the best player that we have that we can put out at right tackle. Because I said it's more important for that right tackle to be better than the guard. The guard in the middle there, he can kind of basically, oh man, juice box hero, man. Thank you very much, man. Jukebox hero. You don't have a comment to go with that, man? Then you're $5 in the pocket. A guard, you want to have an athletic guard. Don't get me wrong. But here's the thing. You put Collins at tackle, you end up having Travis Frederick, who is a beast, on the other side of him. It kind of protects him. Because here's the thing. The tackle is on an island, and that is usually facing the better athletes that are out there. And we saw what happened with Doug Free. You could go back to the Giant game. You can go back to the Green Bay game where he had penalties that cost us, or he gave up, sack fumbles. That was the weak spot on that offensive line, as great as it was. And when you looked at the highlight that I started out there with Lae'l Collins pancaking Bobby Wagner, dude is a beast. What I like seeing from him right now is he's even trimmed up. Now, he's a big guy. He had a bit of a gut. But if you look at him now, he's lost some of that gut. He looks in shape. He looks ready to go. And lo and behold, last night, he started talking about they've been training him at right tackle. So all you guys, come on, man. Y'all drive me crazy. Barry, if you guys are going to do a super chat and donate money to the cause, leave a comment, because that comment's going to be highlighted, and that way we'll get to your question. But lo and behold, we have him saying, I've been working out at right tackle all offseason. And that's what the Cowboys want me to focus on right now. So I feel good about that. Now, we've got some other guys that we signed that are working into the mix of things. Whoa, shit. Wow. How about them Cowboys, man? Damn, 10 guys. Stop this, man. I'm not going to get a show in if you keep on doing this. But how about the Cowboys, your question? Who would be better announcing games, Jay Cutler or Tony Romo? Oh, man. Boy, Jay Cutler, I got to tell you, how often have you heard Jay Cutler talk? I don't think Jay Cutler can do jack crap, because he's always got this I don't give a F look on his face. He always looks like he wants to be somewhere else other than playing football. And I'm not saying that's the way he feels, but he's just got that, yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. They hired him for shock value only. Tony Romo, he's got the nice smile. He's got that all kind of shucks thing. The nice guy next door that every father wants to marry his daughter and stuff. He's personable. So I don't think it's a competition. I think it'll be just like it was on the football field. Tony Romo will wipe the floor with them. How about the Cowboys? Thank you very, very much. Man, I don't know if I have that much cash to put in here tonight. That's another 10. Damn. So I feel great about Collins and the offensive line. So the other guys that we've hired, that we've signed more and all that, they're going to basically battle. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Wow. Billy, come on, man. That's too much. That's way, way too much, man. Damn. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, get ready to have a ball this football season. If we're able to do this well with you guys in the offseason, wait till we really have some football to talk about, because I feel great. The other big thing that I want to talk about, well, actually, there's quite a few big things, and that's the great thing about the Dallas Cowboys. There's always stuff to talk about, and that is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, to me, If you hate Dak Prescott, there's something wrong with you. For those people who always think, oh, Tony Romo is so much better, Dak Prescott's just a dink and dunk quarterback, I can't wait to see him fail. You know what? Find another team. Please find another team. Because regardless of how you may personally feel about a guy, you need to support the Dallas Cowboys. Because if Dak Prescott fails, then the team fails. Call of Duty. No. Even if somebody donates $50, I'm not getting naked, okay? That might kill my marriage. That'd be the last time you'd see me on the Jobu Sports Report. But here's the thing. Like I was saying, as Dak goes, this team will go. And for Dak to come out and you listen to the things that he says. Now, he just got 2 endorsement deals, one with Frito-Lay and Pepsi, which is really the same company, which is great because he's not paid jack crap in comparison. Kellen Moore makes more money than Dak Prescott, okay? $600,000. Now, don't get me wrong. I wish I was making $600,000. But for what these guys do to stay on the field, that's chicken feed. Butt fumble makes 3 times that. Butt fumble. So for him, I'm happy that he's got that. But this guy is not out there being me. He's not out there looking for shoe contracts, and have the good old big baller shoes and that kind of crap. He's not out there partying his ass off. What has this guy been doing? He's been working out. He's been trying to get better. And when you hear the quotes of the things that he says, so many things. First and foremost, it's just losing the playoff game. That's my first motivation heading into my second year. But there's a lot that we can do better. There's a lot this team can get better at. Year one, we just scratched the surface. We're getting started. I know I've been hitting those off-season workouts. I know we've been hitting those off-season workouts. And we're just excited for what we can be as a team. Shallow, how? Man. What's worse, a troll or a homosexual? You mean they're not the same thing? Oh, did I say that? No, I'll be honest with you. I have fun with some of the trolls, man. And I will debate anybody. I don't care what the subject is. I love to make an argument and talk football. Have a great time. And I will listen to your argument. And if it makes sense and you get your argument better than me, I will agree with you. But very rarely does somebody beat me in an argument. But back to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is not satisfied with being Rookie of the Year. Dak Prescott is not satisfied with winning 12 games. What you hear from this kid is, I want a Super Bowl. And I truly believe, because of the situation that he's in, that number 4 that he wears, not just for his mother, that is a reminder, that is his red badge of courage, that 32 teams passed on me for 4 rounds. And I'm going to show them what they missed. I'm going to be the best quarterback out there. And I'm going to bust my ass trying, and I will succeed. That's the mentality that we have for a quarterback. Now, I'm not going to say that he's going to be Tom Brady. But the kid is hungry. The kid wants to succeed. The kid wants to be a leader. How can you hate that? How? How can you not like the kid? So, what's my prediction? Jalen Moore for the season, I'm thinking 10-6. Anything more than that is a bonus. But with the schedule that we have, we're going to have the target on our back. Teams are going to be gunning for us. And when you're looking at the schedule, at the moment, it looks tough. But on the flip side, when I look at the NFC, let's look at the teams that were the top last year. Because what always happens, half of the teams that made the playoffs this year won't make it next year. You look at Carolina 2 years ago in the Super Bowl and where they ended up last year, Part of that was they were a great team because their division stunk. Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and Atlanta were all under 500. So that was part of the reason why that record was so high. But teams will revert. So let's look at Atlanta first. Atlanta usually will have a good year and then have a bad year. And when you look at Atlanta, having had the lead that they had, having bundled it when they should have been running the ball and kicking a field goal for the win, they're still passing it, a la Jason Garrett. I swear I was watching the Dallas Cowboys in that game at the Super Bowl. I swear I knew that they were going to screw it up because I've been there before with the Dallas Cowboys. But be that as it may, I think they're going to have a Super Bowl hangover. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. They're going to have a tougher schedule on them. And they lost Kyle Shanahan, who had his best year of coaching. Matt Ryan had his best year as a quarterback. I don't think that's going to happen. So I look at them taking a couple steps back. I won't say that they won't win the division, but I don't think they're going to do as good as they did last year. And their defense is lacking. I look at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers defense was not very good. They've gotten older, and they're still living off of a lot of those players from the past. Aaron Rodgers broke up with Lydia Munn. And they say he's changed a little bit. He's becoming Mr. Hollywood. He's hanging out in L.A., partying a lot, and he's not working out with the team like he used to in the offseason. Is it possible that Aaron Rodgers may not be the same? Because without Aaron Rodgers, that team is not a team. They stink. Seattle. Seattle hasn't been the same since they screwed up the Super Bowl against New England. Since that pass play that should have been a run, and you see a theme here, there's times to run the ball that will win you games. But teams decide, let's pass it. Jason Garrett. They have been steadily going downhill. They've been picked apart because when you play well, teams want what you have. So a lot of their players are gone. A lot of the players are getting up there and getting injured. And the other thing you also have to take in consideration is when you're a really good team, you're playing about a month longer than a lot of the competition, which means you have a month less to heal. So you may only have been in the league for 3 or 4 years, but it's like an extra year or two on your body because you've been playing those playoff games and haven't had the rest. So I look at Seattle, kind of taking a couple steps back. Arizona, I think Carson Palmer's become a liability. I don't think they're going to be that great. The Giants, yeah, they got Brandon Marshall, but I still don't believe that their running game and offensive line is going to help them, that they're going to still be one-dimensional with Eli Manning, who's digressing. Eli Manning has been a turnover machine and leads the league in turnovers over the last 5 years. I don't see that changing. Yeah, they got us twice last year, but I can't say that they truly beat us as much as we beat ourselves. We look at that first game. That first game that Cole Beasley, who never drops anything, dropped a pass on the 4-yard line that should have been a short touchdown. Dez Bryant had a catch, no catch in the end zone. And then Terrence Williams, of course, didn't go out of bounds. So it wasn't like the Giants kicked our ass then. And even the second game, when Eli Manning should have had 6 interceptions, but our defensive backs, thank God some of them were gone, couldn't hold on to the ball in their hands. Do you think the Giants are going to be that much better of a team? I know the experts are saying Brandon Marshall is going to make them unstoppable, but that offense, I believe, was 29th last year. So even if Brandon Marshall improves that offense, you think they're going to go from 29th to 1? I don't think so. So I don't think the Giants are going to be that good. The Redskins, well, I think they screwed up their quarterback psyche. Basically, you got a guy who's played better than any of your quarterbacks over the last 20 years, and you don't want to pay him. You've heard about him being trade bait to San Francisco to go back with Charles Simeon. You heard about the Cleveland Browns at the draft talking about trying to draft him. So I look at all these things and I say, the Redskins, their defense still stinks. Even though they're always the offseason champion and everybody always talks about how the Washington Redskins are going to be the team to beat, yet they somehow beat themselves most of the time. So I look at our division. Oh, the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles. I'm going to stick by my prediction that I made last year. Because, see, most of the experts out there, they'll say stuff, but they won't remind you later on. I got a whole lot of grief at the beginning of this year, before the channel really started growing up. I think Jared Goff and Carson Wentz would be bust. So far, I'm looking like I'm at least half right. Now, Carson Wentz started out really well, but he kind of went off the cliff. Now, of course, Eagle fans will say, oh, it's because he didn't have an offense around him, his offensive line stuff, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so the jury's out. We'll see what happens with him. But I don't see the Eagles taking that big a leap forward. Now, I could be wrong. And, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. But that's what I see in the NFC. So I don't see anybody that you can say, like New England, on the other side of the fence, is head and shoulders above the rest. I think we've got a good shot at going all the way. I still think we'll probably be 10-6. 10-6 usually will win the NFC East without a problem. So that's where I see us right now. Yeah, Jared Goff is trash. Can you imagine? Just think for a second. Let's revise history for a second here. What if Jerry Jones had traded up for Paxton Lynch? Where do you guys think this Dallas Cowboy team would be? I don't think that they would have been 12-4. I think we might still be looking for another quarterback, but what do I know? Sometimes you get lucky, and the Cowboys got lucky with that one because Dak Prescott is above and beyond what you could expect, even for a first-round quarterback. So feel good that we aren't the Chicago Bears that are desperate for a quarterback, that they're just reaching for anything. That we got that situation taken care of. So all you guys that hate on Dak Prescott, find another team. That's my advice to you, because you're not really a Cowboy fan. Now, I'm doing some other videos where I'm talking about key pieces to the Dallas Cowboys defense, because I feel like the Dallas Cowboys black sheep are back. And if you don't know what the black sheep were, it was a World War II fighter squadron of misfits and guys that didn't have squadrons, guys that got into trouble and all that. And they kind of got all together and became the best fighter squadron in World War II. They were feisty. They had a lot to prove. They had a chip on their shoulder. And to me, that's been the Dallas Cowboys defense, because the Dallas Cowboys defense never gets any respect. Never. But I feel good about the moves that they made. It doesn't mean they're going to work out. But I like the fact that we're going to have young cornerbacks that are going to grow up together. They're going to make mistakes out there. They're going to get burned from time to time. But I'd rather have that trial by fire with those guys than know that 2-3 years from now that they're going to be a cohesive group that will hopefully be able to dominate. But I think the key is going to be, one, Byron Jones. Byron Jones is a guy that nobody talks about. Byron Jones is quietly having a really good career. 88 tackles last year as a safety, 1 interception, although that's not a lot of interceptions, but on this team it actually is. Byron Jones is low-key and quiet, but I'd like to see that guy more vocal with this team and be the leader of the backs. I like the fact that we have 3 young quarterbacks coming in here, and nobody is guaranteed jack. Orlando Scandrick basically heard he might be on the trading block. That's going to make all these guys hungry and make these guys fight for a position on the team. And I love that. So I've been running on here for about 25 minutes. Let me start checking out some of the comments because there's a whole lot of you guys on here. I do not want to ignore you because I can just run on. Blake, how are you doing tonight? Uh, how many of those Alabama linemen become dominant in the NFL? So don't worry. Okay. Byron Jones is going to be the leader in the secondary. Well, I'd really like to see him step up in the way that Sean Lee. See, Sean Lee is another one of those guys that's a leader, but he's not real vocal out there. He's not a rah-rah guy, but he leads by example. And I want to see Byron Jones step up and be that guy. Well, thanks, Steve Lopez. I'm glad to be your homie. Skandrick is out of here. Well, I'm not sure I want to get rid of Skandrick because you still want a veteran presence. Like I said, you want to make guys refocus and get hungry and want to play. And that's what, Reckless, how you doing today? You want to see. Get those pork sliders ready. Oh, man. That's the one thing that I miss more than anything else during football season is getting ready for the game. To me, the game isn't just Sunday. The game starts, Friday, starting to look at all the lines, all the injuries and everything else. Saturday, figuring out what I'm cooking and if I'm smoking something, getting the smoker and stuff ready. Sunday morning, I'm getting up early and getting everything together because, you can't have just pork sliders. You got to have chicken wings. You got to have some coleslaw to go with it. You got to have, tacos now and, some queso dip and all that stuff. You got to have all that stuff for a real football party. And I miss having that Sunday feast, although my belly is a little smaller in the off season, so to speak. Good. How's the work, Mark? Work is keeping me busy. I'm a construction foreman, and we do a lot of work at the Smithsonian. So, today I shot a picture from, the Washington Monument as I was walking to the African American Museum where we're doing some other projects and stuff. So I really enjoy the job because of the scenery and the buildings that I get to see and work in. I eat Jack Duncan. I eat whatever I want Sunday or not. Well, yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not going through and smoking a pork shoulder for 15 hours for Sunday reruns on NFL Network. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. It's a totally different feel getting ready for having your friends come over, talk trash, drink, some alcohol, watch the game. It's a totally different atmosphere than it is on a regular Sunday. Please cut Gregory. Yeah, well, the reason I think they haven't cut Gregory yet is because Jerry Jones and the power that he yields is still trying to work on the marijuana testing in the NFL. And if he can get that out of the way, heck, why wouldn't he go ahead and hold on to Randy Gregory? He don't care if he smoked weed. He just wants to get him out on the field, bottom line. So that's why he hasn't cut him. I mean, besides, he's not costing you anything right now because he's suspended. He's not getting paid. So releasing him doesn't really help you or hurt you one way or the other. So, hey, sir, how you doing tonight? JJ, sup, Jackie babies? Let's see. Kevin Durant, GOAT. Okay, Francis Washington. Jackie, Aisha, how about them Cowboys? Thinks Randy Gregory could be back. Here's the thing. They do with the marijuana testing protocol. Yeah, he'll be back. That's a no-brainer. Let me kind of check something here real quick. So I wouldn't be surprised if if Jerry Jones does get that testing out of the way. The NFL Player Association is trying to do away with it. So when you start getting the Players Association with DeMar Smith looking into it, I got to be honest with you. I'm not a weed smoker. I can't say that I've never smoked weed. I could tell you a story that you really wouldn't believe, but I'm better not do that one because I don't want to put people out there. But marijuana is no worse than some of the pills that the guys are already taking that are over the counter. The thing that we forget as fans, we love a great hit. You like to see somebody get knocked the F out, You like to see somebody pancaked. You like to see that tackle where the guy gets up and his eyes roll in the back of his head. But come Monday morning, A lot of these guys physically cannot get out of bed. And they are in ice whirlpools, taking shots, taking painkillers like chiclets, doing whatever it takes to get out of bed. So when you look at some of these really powerful stuff, and I take, I've got 800 milligram ibuprofen. That I'm supposed to take 3 a day for pain for my back and my knees. Dude, I can take 2 of those and I still don't even feel it. And I take sometimes 6 of them in a day and can't even tell. You get to the point where your body just gets used to it and you need more and more and more of it. And when you think about these guys, literally it's like being in a car wreck 30, 40, 50 times in one day. So when you look at marijuana, if it is giving relief like they say it does, and we use it for cancer patients, what's the big deal about football players using it? It might be better than some of the over-the-counter drugs. But of course, it's the whole idea that, oh, the players are taking drugs. Well, they're already taking drugs. All kinds of stuff, always happening. That's the price they pay to be able to stay on the field, unfortunately. And the sad part is, when they get out of football, a lot of these guys' lives, quality of life, is awful. They're literally taking years off their life. But back to some of your questions here. Weed makes you hungry. Okay. Yeah, stay to drugs, sir. Okay. Dak was hitting home runs. I missed that one. I haven't got much news today. Jobu's got his refill. It's actually coconut rum today, so it looks clear. It looks like his glass is empty. I passed my drug test. Well, here's the thing. Here is what is so stupid, because I have no sympathy for anybody who fails a drug test in the NFL. Because basically, until you get into the drug protocol, you get tested once a year, and you know when it's going to be. So if you fail a drug test, that's on you. You's an idiot. And for guys who fail one at the combine, dude, that's the biggest exam that you'll ever take in your life. If you can't stay clean for that one, then you got no chance of ever staying clean. So, be that as it may, at this moment, I'm not worried about Randy Gregory. I'm happy with Taco Sundays. I'm happy about David Irving. And David Irving is another one of those key guys that I look at this year. That if David Irving can take where he was last year and take it to another level and take some of the pressure off some of those other guys, give the other opposition somebody else to focus on, then you really got something. And I love wave move. When he hit that Tampa Bay tackle in the chest and literally rocked him on his heels backwards, if he can reproduce that move alone will lead to so many other things. If this guy can develop a couple other moves, because basically there's not a lot of difference between players in the NFL. You know, you're talking about the cream of the crop everywhere you go, even between the good teams and bad teams. What you have to do is start being able to play mind games. If you can do a bull rush like he does, where you're literally punching the guy in the chest, and that's literally what he's doing. He is taking the palm of his hand and he is punching the guy in the chest, making him suck wind and rock back. From that moment on, once you get used to getting hit, that guy's going to always be ready to get hit in that chest. He's going to be thinking he want to get punched in the chest again. That's when you can go ahead and go a fake and then step the other way, because the guy is going to be trying to meet you with pressure and get faked up, because he's going to be locked in on that move. And then boom, you're past him. So that's what I look for him to be able to step up more. I look for Topper, who everybody asks, well, what do you think he's going to do? I can't say I know what he's going to do because he didn't play last year at all. He didn't practice all year, so he's been out of football for a year. But you get him in the rotation, start teaching him, coach him up, and see what happens. We have a good group of guys that we can rotate in. But now, here's the thing. When you look at last year, I keep killing myself with this because I keep replaying that Green Bay Packer game over and over and over again, trying to figure out what we should have done differently. And I realized the defense played really well for most of the season. They didn't get a lot of sacks, but they were number one at stopping the run. And there was a reason why they were number one at stopping the run. It was because of the Dallas Cowboys offense. Because the Dallas Cowboys offense pretty much scored just about every time they had the ball. But the way they did it was they ate up a lot of the clock. You're having 8, 9, 12-minute drives. And when you're able to take up that much time and score, the other team gets the mentality of, we're not going to get that many opportunities. We have got to score now. Thus, they abandon the run more and they pass more. And that sets up the situation where they don't have that many. Yes, son. Breaking news?
Sean Lee made it on top 100.
Okay. Breaking news. Sean Lee, at what spot? Sean Lee. Okay. Well, it's actually on right now. So I actually have it recorded. So I will bring a video of that after we do. But Sean Lee is actually in the top 100. Now, I'm going to give you guys, a lot of you guys already know this, but we have a lot of new people. And I mean, literally, we've had like 1,000 new subscribers in the last month. So I want to thank all you guys that are watching. And a lot of you guys think the whole idea of a 51-year-old man with a voodoo doll is just crazy. But you like what I say, at least. Here's the thing. I always say, I don't know if Jobu has any power or not. I don't. All I can say is good things happen around him. And that's the honest truth. I was never on TV before I had Jobu. But I have been on NFL Network quite a few times, ESPN. I was on Showtime's Inside the NFL.
79.
Sean Lee, 79 on the top 100. I was on Inside the NFL's commercial a couple of years ago with Jobu at the end of the commercial on for about 15 seconds. Nobody looking for me on the camera, but they're looking for him. Sean Lee literally in 2014 after he had his knee surgery, met him for an autograph signing. He fell in love with Jobu. He wanted, in fact, to take Jobu with him. He said, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Got him on tape saying, Jobu, I need you to keep me on the field next year. And since that time, it's probably just a coincidence, he's been on the field and been 2-time Pro Bowler, and now he's in the top 100. Hats off to you, Sean Lee. Keep spreading the mojo. I'm proud of it. Last year at the draft, do you know who Jobu was touting for the Dallas Cowboys to draft, saying he was a perfect quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? Started last January. This guy. So sometimes crazy things just seem to happen with him on here. I'm just saying. I can't say he has anything to do with it. It's just good things happen around. Jobu wants a 3-movie deal opposite of Denzel. Jobu needs a refill, of course. Jedi. Okay. Taco was a reach. Barnett, Sidney Jones were both top 15 talents and are both upgrades. Well, here's the thing. They had to go for Taco when they did. Because when you looked at how that draft was going, you saw a lot of offensive players going off the board. And you saw a lot of defensive linemen that were going off the board. Safeties and D-backs, they weren't moving out as fast as those other groups. So when the Cowboys got there, they said, okay, if we don't go for this guy now, he's not going to be there at 60. But the way cornerbacks and safeties are being drafted, we got a good shot at getting a really good one in the second round. So let's take Taco now. Now, I say Taco is a little bit raw. You know, he didn't start till his senior year, so he didn't have that much playing time. But I look at him and think that he has the sky's the limit. He's got the size. And I know people will say, well, he's only ran a 4.7 40 or originally at the combine 4.88. But yeah, Travis Frederick only ran a 5.6 at the combine. And look at him. 3 years of Pro Bowler, one of the best centers in the NFL. So don't just go by that 40 speed. What I told you that is good about him is his hand strength and his ability to keep offensive linemen at arm's reach. And he has a lean. And by a lean, not everybody has it. It's almost like a natural thing where you can run, where your body is so low to the ground. And in football, the low man generally wins. And he's quick with that first step. And that first step is key, because if he gets to the point where he's doing combination moves, where he's doing a jab step, stepping to the left or stepping to the right, that offensive lineman goes with him. He's quick enough to go back and leave that guy in the dust. So if he gets the desire to want to become a beast with Coach Rod Martinelli coaching him, he can become a beast. Because when you look at the guys that Rod's had to work with, they've been guys that are down here. Don't get me wrong. They've played really well, and he's coached them up to become really good players. George Selby had 3 sacks in 4 years before he came to Dallas and ended up being an 8-sack guy. But their ceiling is only so high because the talent is not completely there. They don't have all the tools. This guy has the tools, from what I see. That's no guarantee it's going to translate into the pros. But to start out with, he has the tools. So you start looking at that. Now, if you're DeMarcus Lawrence, what are you thinking right now? What do you think? I'm thinking, oh, shit. I got a guy that's younger than me that's looking to take my spot. I better get my ass off of this hospital bed, and I better be ready to play. Same thing with Tyron Crawford. Because right now we got 10 defensive linemen. 2 of those guys are gone. I see Topper trying to make a name for himself, so he's going to be trying to do the ball still off. You got David Irvin. You know he's not going anywhere, especially at the price tag he's there. You got Taco. You got Collins, who was a beast. You got Paya, who I think will turn around because he's no longer in a 4-3 defense, a defense that didn't suit him, in the dumpster fire that is the Washington Redskins, and Siberia with the Doo-Doo Browns. I think that guy's going to make an impact. So all of a sudden, if you're DeMarcus Lawrence, if you're Tyron Crawford, you better come correct or you're going to be gone. But that's my opinion. And let me get ready to call in here to the Benet Emery Show. For those of you guys that are new to my live stream, thank you guys for joining me and everything else. I have been doing the Benet Emery Show for 3 years now. And it's been great. When I first started out doing the show, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I did screw with him.
Okay.
I did cheat on my husband one time. And he knows. And he cheated back on me because, came after the bench.
He did.
So the show's going on live.
Ladies and
And I'm about to
gentlemen,
go.
get more into that drama. I bet we will. You got to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line now, calling in straight from Cowboy. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you follow him on YouTube. Yes, Cowboy Land, because he is the superstar of the Cowboys. He knows everything. He is the squabbing of the star. I know you follow him, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't follow him, you need to follow him now. Subscribe to his channel on YouTube where you get all the up-to-date coverage of the Dallas Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for man Mark Holmes. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, man, how are we doing tonight, Benet?
Oh, I'm feeling very black about it. I'm feeling black. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great. But, some people say I'm a little strange.
Yeah, the grown man carrying around the voodoo doll.
Yeah, you're right. A 51-year-old man with a voodoo doll. This guy can't know jack about sports, right?
Shares the wicked.
But I feel vindicated when things like Lae'l Collins, they start announcing he's going to be playing right tackle. Because months ago I said
you did say
the
that
Dallas Cowboys would be best suited moving him over there. And people said, no, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. He's going to play guard. We're going to have Chaz Green start. And I said, Chaz Green, who started 3 out of about 32 games, the rest of them he was injured. That guy, you going to pin your season on that guy? So the Dallas Cowboys have kind of let Lae'l Collins, who slimmed down and looks fantastic right now, looks like an ultimate beast, has been working for right tackle. So that's great news right there.
Listen, I know you on your YouTube channel going live. Ladies and gentlemen, and picked Dak Prescott. He picked Ezekiel Elliott. He has not been wrong.
Don't forget about Taco. Don't forget about Taco Charlton, man. I told you it's going to be Taco Sundays.
He picked the first draft pick this year. This cat is never wrong about the Dallas Cowboys. Stop betting against him. Eventually, Jared's going to get the word and hire Mark to be his personal advisor or something, and we're going to lose him. But other than that, go ahead, Mark.
Well, no, I think Jerry Jones is thinking, why buy the cow when I can get the milk for free? Because I think Jerry Jones is following the Jobu Sports Report.
He's right on. He should.
But in other news, Jalen Smith, and every Dallas Cowboy fan wants to know what's going on with Jalen Smith, and it wants to see him on the field. And originally, the Cowboys had announced that he was going to be working out with the rookies starting on Friday.
The draft pick from last year that was injured all of last year and just now is trying to come back, right?
Exactly, yes. But, at first they were looking and saying, basically he's going to be working and playing this season with the brace and stuff because the nerve wasn't quite regenerating, but they were going to go as it is. But all of a sudden, the nerve has been regenerating all of a sudden really rapidly, and they think that it will be completely healed by the start of the season. But they announced basically last night that they're going to hold him back from the rookie workouts, and they're going to wait until the team gets together later on in the month because we're now into phase 2 of the OTAs where the players are beginning to get the offense and defense installed and stuff, then beginning to start working out on the fields.
Now, has he done anything last year? Did he do any type of workout plan, or was he just basically working?
He was doing individual drills and stuff and basically rehabbing all of last year. So as far as practicing, he didn't do any practices with the team. It was just like individual work.
All right, Dom. So what's your take on it?
What's my take on it? If he can give us anything, when you look at the draft that we had last year, if he is anything, that draft may go down as one of the best in Dallas Cowboy history. I think that he might do really well. If our defensive line comes up like I think it will, it'll keep those linebackers clean. I think he can end up really making some noise, and I think he will be a key to that defense's success this year.
Well, what's your prediction, Doug? You got one for sure.
I think the team is going to go 10-6 next year. I know a lot of people are going to say 14-2, but they're going to have a tough schedule, and the secret is out on them. They're going to have that target on the back, so people are definitely going to be gunning for them. But I think they're going to be okay. I think the defense, with all these young guys, that I'm happy about bringing in young guys. They're going to make some mistakes, but I look for them to be able to grow as a team, and 2, 3, 4 years down the road that they will become beasts. And the key, I think, for that secondary is Byron Jones, who is quietly becoming a really good safety, but you don't hear about him. You don't hear about his 88 tackles last year or, his interception and stuff, but he's a really good player. I'd like to see him step up and become a leader on that defense and bring those young guys together. But what I love more than anything else is right now, when we went into this offseason, we had 21 free agents, and we were looking around saying, can we get some warm bodies just to fill all these holes because we don't have any cash. The Dallas Cowboys have put together an incredible offseason. They drafted well. They stayed away from buying overpriced free agents, and they found value players that fit their system. And now that we're getting close to June 1st, teams are getting ready to have that second wave of free agency where we drafted a young guy, and this guy's making a whole lot of cash that we can cut. So I still think that the Cowboys may add a player or two come June when they get that money from Tony Romo's contract.
Well, Mark, I would not disagree with you at all, sir. Like I said, you know it all. Only thing I'm still concerned about, I didn't think we needed those receivers, and I still think the linebacker position needs to be addressed. So if you can give me a quick synopsis on that.
Here's the thing. With Ryan Switzer, I actually like the pick of Ryan Switzer because dude had 5 touchdown punt returns his freshman year, which tied the NCAA record. But last year had 97 receptions. He's another guy that's like Cole Beasley, or Wes Welker. He's a little scat guy that does great in the slot, but he's a hell of a punt returner. And that's going to be competition with Lucky Whitehead and him for that spot, Imano versus Imano, because whoever loses is off the team. So you see a guy like Lucky Whitehead who's kind of done himself trying to get back into the favor of the team. He's working his ass off. And there's nothing I like better than competition where guys have to literally fight for their lives of staying in the NFL. As far as the other wide receiver they drafted, another big body similar to Dez Bryant. And when you start looking at Dez, unfortunately, great player, but has had an injury history since he signed that big contract. And they're looking at another big body that, okay, if Dez goes down, maybe we can plug this guy in and have another big guy presence. So I'm not mad about either of those picks.
I feel what you're saying, though, but on the same token, Dez Bryant is an exceptional talent. You can have a big body, but if you can't catch, and
true, but time will tell. And here's the great thing about the draft. It doesn't matter what anybody says about it now. When it matters is a year or 2 years down the road. When we see these guys who you thought were going to be great end up being busts, and these guys like Dak Prescott that nobody thought anything about all of a sudden become Rookie of the Year. So it's easy for guys to say, oh, they're an A+, because last year ESPN gave us a C- on our draft.
Yeah. They did.
Right?
I remember.
A C-. Yeah, okay. So how much stock do you put in what those guys say now?
I got a crazy question for you, Mark.
What's that?
What do you I kind of thought it was kind of floating out there in the universe about Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, Lordy.
Ignore that dumb shit.
Okay, well, interesting that you brought that thing up, because I did a video about that last week, and I got a lot of venom because I said for a couple of reasons why he wouldn't make sense. One, it's a pistol offense he played in, and he's kind of gone downhill. So you have to change the offense for him. So it doesn't really work. Two, the price tag. Three, the circus comes to town with him. And by that, I wasn't saying he was a clown, but you got to understand that there's going to be a lot of controversy that comes with him. And I don't really like that with the Dallas Cowboys, because the Dallas Cowboys have turned into that blue-collar team, that lunch pail guys that come to work to play football. You got Dak Prescott talking about, I want to go to the Super Bowl. You bring in Colin Kaepernick, you've got everybody camping out about the whole controversy there that's going on. And the fourth thing that I said, and you'll remember I said it on our show, that I'm not sure that what Colin Kaepernick was doing was originally what it became. Because if you look at Chip Kelly had the history of getting rid of guys who were vocal. So the best thing Colin Kaepernick could do to get out of town was to be defiant. So let me go ahead and sit down for the national anthem and see if he kicks me out. And then all of a sudden people asked about it and he said, oh, I'm protesting about the police. I mean, at least that was my take on it. And all of a sudden I got a whole lot of hate mail and a whole lot of venom that were just saying that you're a black man acting like a white man and everything. I said, no, this is my opinion on what happened. Because I said, if a guy is that passionate about police brutality and stuff, you would at least vote.
Yeah. Well, Mark, we'll see. Tell folks how to get in contact with you, homie.
Man, definitely check out Jobu's Jobu's Facebook page on Facebook, CowboyJobu. Check out my YouTube channel, Mark Holmes, because we break down all the draft picks, all the players. We even give you tips on how to fix up your man cave and stuff. And we're actually live streaming right now with our fans that are watching us live while we're doing the show. So definitely join in, because we have giveaways and all kinds of stuff. And we're working on making the Jobu's mobile man cave. So we're going to be showing up at games and things.
Hey, dog, I think, man. Hey, Mark.
All right, man. I will see you guys Monday night, man. Keep spreading the mojo.
All right, Mark. All right, peace, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right here.
All right, so that was me on the Benet Emery show. So you guys were part of the studio audience with that, and I got to tell you, I just love doing that. Let's check out some of your comments here. Wentz still doesn't get a good team around him. Well, yeah, he still doesn't have one. The heck with Kaepernick, I agree with you. I don't agree. I know, Jack. Again, it's my personal opinion, and we should all be able to have a discussion and talking about stuff and have different opinions. Some people will think I'm completely wrong, and I'm fine with that. But that's just my personal opinion. I just look at some of the stuff that Colin Kaepernick has done in his career, and that's just the way I feel. So don't hate me for having my opinion. We can agree to disagree. He has one now with wideouts. Well, we'll see what the Eagles do. I still don't think the Eagles are going to do that good. Kevin, I'm praying. Oh, God, I'm praying. I look at the Dallas Cowboys team upgrading all across the board, everywhere but coaching. And I'm hoping that the Cowboys get it together because they coach great during the regular season, but for some reason, it just doesn't seem like they can get it together in the playoffs. For whatever reason, we just see mistakes in the playoffs. We see timeouts called when they shouldn't be. We see passing when they should be running. We just see like they just panic, and I'm praying that they'll have it together next year. Well, Jackie, again, I didn't mean to make this a political statement. I got asked the question and stuff on it. I know this, as far as voting goes, whether you like the candidates or not, I know that being a child who was the first class integrated, I know my parents living through segregation and stuff and being bused for school 30 miles away and having subpar schools. I know my ancestors not being able to vote, that even now we have soldiers who die for our right to do that. And we disgrace their sacrifice by not exercising that right. And that's something that's very, very important to me. I volunteer. I vote in every single election. I think as an American citizen, it should be your duty to vote, especially if you don't agree with politics. If you don't like the candidates out there, then you become the candidate. You become the person to change and make the world the way you want it to be. Or you work towards getting the candidate that you think should be there. But just saying, I'm just not going to vote. I'm sorry. I just can't agree with that. And I'm sorry if it pisses anybody off, but that's the way I feel. Hollywood is 15. A lot of salty Cowboy fans out there. I've kind of lost that one. I'm a pacifist, so I don't support my troops. Okay. Constant run game. Okay. I'm sorry, but this thing's rolling through real quick. I don't like basketball. I'm kind of like you on that one. I just don't have time. And that's where a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you do basketball or baseball? I'm just kind of like, ain't nobody got time for 162 games of baseball or 82 of basketball. I try and focus completely on the Dallas Cowboys and try to know everything that I can about that. And if I spent that kind of time with baseball and basketball, I would have to quit my day job, and I can't afford to do that. So with that being said, I got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we have literally been on for an hour. And before I go, I want to make sure, let's see if it shows up. Oh, it's not there yet. Let's see. I want to make sure that I do one thing. I want to make sure I thank, oh my God, are you guys crazy? I want to thank Shallow Hal, Billy Sarducci, Barry B, How About Them Cowboys, Juicebox Hero, all for helping spread the mojo and helping to work on my dream for the Dallas Cowboys. I appreciate all the support from you guys. The channel is growing in leaps and bounds. We're spreading the mojo all over the place, and I couldn't be happier, and I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it. I've done some more work to the place. I've got more lights in here. I even have a dimmer that's set up to it. Got the new microphone hookup set. So I'm trying to make sure that I bring you guys the best show possible and give you the best news possible here on the Jobu Sports Report. Because I like to think I'm a little different than everybody else. Good night, Sarah. Good night, Jalen, Sandman, Weapon, Jack, Jay, Francis Washington, Gary Johnson, Rada, some Jedi Knight, Holy Wars, How About Them Cowboys, Jackie Smith, Barry B. Everybody have a great night and a great week, and we will be back here on Friday night talking to you guys. And so, as always, friends, have a great week. Be safe out there and keep spreading the mojo. And I am getting out of here.